one of the key trends that we are seeing is more of a social one than a sort of technology or company specific one, in as much as akin to the dot-com bubble, I think that people are more comfortable now with calling things out for what they are. I think people are more comfortable with understanding what it is that they actually want to get out of the technology. But I think the most important thing that we're certainly seeing at a insurance sort of company executive level is people better understanding the distinction between the what and the how. And for us, the how has always been the InsurTech part of the equation. But the what is really what people should be focused on, which is, what is the business outcome I want from any kind of engagement with an InsurTech business? And that typically is a business what, right? It's a very straightforward commercial decision, which should be able to be articulated in non-InsurTech commercial terms, right?
Yeah.
Whereas up until not that long ago, the what was almost the InsurTech themselves, which was the enabling force. And I think a lot of that was partly because the InsurTechs themselves were trying to sell themselves as the product, as the solution. But also I think that companies weren't comfortable enough to not be distracted by the InsurTech as the product. But there has been a cultural shift. But that was always going to take time, right? I mean, if you look at the dot-com bubble, if you look at any bubble that you have that sort of goes before this, you kind of think, well, why are we making the same mistakes over and over again? But you've got to recognize that two very disparate worlds were colliding, and I think a lot of insurance people didn't feel comfortable enough in the technology world to be able to make the decision to say no, particularly when they were seeing their peers kind of going all in. So there's a lot more discipline now, there's a lot more nuance. I think there's a lot more sophistication around selecting companies. I think there's a lot more confidence, particularly with incumbents, to say, you know what, this actually isn't right for us, and the answer might not be a technological one, which I think is a real light bulb moment for a lot of people, no pun intended. But there is that discipline that's coming in, and I think that is the single biggest sort of trend that we're seeing at the moment. Hi, this is Andrew Johnston, Global Head of InsurTech at Gallagher, and this is the future of insurance.